we discussed all the way up to the assembly stage, and there we have seen that after yesterday we started the discussion of the life of a C program or a complete C project. In fact, initially all the files, suppose your C project is consists of say hundreds of files. Here I show you a demo with only 2C files. Obviously that same you can scale to 100 files or even 1000 files in the similar manner. Here first stage is macro processing. This stage, the first stage happens for each file individually. That means, suppose let me open up the corresponding location. And here, previous day, we were discussing only about one single test.c file. Today, let me create another file, say some helper.c, and in that helper.c, there will be, obviously in the complete project, whatever large software, large application you write, there will be only a single entry point. Always there will be only a single entry point, so there will be only a single main function always in the overall project. All the other files are the provider of some functions, some complex functions. Now you may think that why not all functions are written in a single C file. In general, large projects does not consist of only one or two functions, rather they consist of from thousands of functions. And obviously, managing all functions within a single file, and so among the thousands of functions, maybe 100 functions are doing some job, some task together. Maybe another set of 100 functions are doing another function, another part of the application together, right? As for example, this is the Microsoft OneNote. In fact, that's what I recommend in Google Chrome. But if I consider this application, maybe there are some 20 C files, though it is not written in C. I'm just saying as an example. Maybe there are 20 files which are creating this GUI, how it will behave with the mouse clicks and so on. Remember, when I provide the corresponding mouse click, when I give the mouse click, remember from our discussion that processor will take the interrupt, OS will send the interrupt to the current application, that means this application, and this application will decide what is to be done when a mouse click is detected. So what will be done on the mouse click, what will be done on some keyboard press. This complete GUI and user interaction, maybe it has been defined in 20 files. Maybe another 100 files is defining each and every functionality separately, right? So it is not a single file, rather thousands, or even large softwares like this consist of thousands of source files. Now, but whatever it is, even if there are thousands or even millions of C files, even still there will be a single main function, right? So now suppose this test.c contains this corresponding main function, and though I'll discuss about functions later on, but for now consider it as it is. Suppose there is a function. In short, a function provides certain functionality. You pass some input to it, it's like a black box. You pass some input to it, it performs the required computation, the required calculations, and it may or may not return you the corresponding value. As for example, suppose I am writing the one of the smallest possible functions performing square of a number, that will simply return the square of the first input. And suppose here in the test.c I am invoking that square of the function, and suppose I am doing that on 3, where type is 3, as you know. Now let me go through the steps one by one. First, you know, for each of the file, the assembly the macro-processed code will be created separately. So test.c, this will create a separate macro-process code, and helper.c, this will create another separate macro-process code. And you'll see there are these two files, helper1.c and test1.c. And if I open up these two files, if you can remember from our previous day's discussion, helper.c, test.c process these two macros by first including the content of stdio.h and then replacing each occurrence of this type with 3, and this is what test1.c looks like. Okay, and this is the format of what is happening here. Now see, there is still not there is no error till now, okay, because it has just macro processed it, nothing more than that. And similarly, if we look into the helper.c, see there is no macro in helper.c, so we can expect the helper1.c should look similar to this. There are certain just comments, it is not comments in fact, rather it is there's some strings that define what kind of file it is. It is for the helping of the next C compiler to identify what is the name of the file, right, and several other identifiers that that the macro process pass to the next phase of compilation. But I am not going into this level of details. But as you can see, its size is not as huge as this test1.c, because no file like stdio.h or some header file has been expanded into helper.c. Rather, macroprocessor has just set some identifiers, and compiler is going to use those identifiers for compilation purpose, for the identification of the file and several other jobs. Now, after the macro processing, you can even compile them. You can even compile them separately. As for example, suppose test.c minus s. That means I am going to get the assembly output. Okay. Now see. Sorry. This will be test.s. The assembly output after assembling it, just 1 second. We should not use the minus O here, because as soon as we are using minus O here, it is in fact using the assembler as well. Rather than using minus O, this should be written in this fashion as well, just like the minus e, because this is still now a text file. This text file just contains the assembly output. So gcc test.c minus s and provide it into test.s. Okay, and similarly, as you can see, it already has given you a warning, right? And helper.c, and let me put it into helper.s. Okay, and this has not given you any warning. The reason of warning is that if I open up this helper.s, just one second. This should not be written like this. Simply minus s would be sufficient, and it will create the corresponding file. Sorry for the confusion. In fact, this comment, will create the file test.s. Okay, that contains the assembly instructions. This is the corresponding helper.s, the corresponding assembly instruction that got generated from helper.c, and here we have our test.s that contains the assembly instructions from the helper.c, from the test.c. Now here, now see, these two generated independently, right? It provided a warning that SQI is not known. Now if you try to say create the object output, so test.c minus o test.o. Now observe here, when you are going to create the object output, it is not only warning now, it has given you an error, undefined reference to SQR. Okay, but if you provide the helper.c and output the helper.o here, as you can see, it is also giving you an error of that it does not have main. The reason behind that is in this test.c you are using SQR, right? You are using SQR. Just one second.
Sir, what is that object output?
Object output is the machine instruction output. Okay. GCC, I forgot another switch here, that is GCC minus C here. That will only compile. It will only compile and produce the object output. GCC minus C test.c minus so test.o. As we can see that the object output got generated individually from the test.c. Similarly, GCC minus C helper.c minus o helper.o, right? So it created two object files independently. Let me recapitulate what we just discussed. When you write the minus capital E, right, it gives you as a text file. As a text file, it gives you the macro processed output. Okay. When you provide minus capital S, it gives you again as a text file, but you do not need to redirect the output. It automatically generates the assembly text file. because that is still there is still a text file containing just the assembly instructions. It will generate the test.s, the assembly instruction file. Now observe here, you do not need to perform this before. You do not need to perform this -c to perform -s, because when you perform the -s, I'm doing it on test C, not test1.c. In fact, it is performing already the macro processing, and then it is assembling, and you are seeing the output. Okay. Similarly, when you will perform the -c, that means compile. -c switch means macro processing, compile, and then assemble. Okay, these three steps together, and after these three steps it will create the object file. Okay, and the object file is the machine instruction created purely from present C file, right? It has only detected during compilation that this, because according to grammar, if when you use some function, you have to have the function declared prior to that. Okay. Now, it has observed that SQR has been used, that is in the grammar, so it will be resolved in the compilation phase, and that's what is happening, right? If you compile to create the assembly output, it is showing the corresponding warning, because during compilation it is not following the grammar that while using a function you have to have the function declared prior to it, right? So that's why it is showing you a warning, but still it has not shown you any error, right? So we can consider that eventually the assembly instructions got generated successfully. It just created the assembly code blindly, that when the SQL function, where the SQL function has been invoked here, just write the corresponding call SQR in the corresponding assembly instruction. But it knows that there is no SQR function known to the test.c. Okay. Similar, but in the case of helper.c, there is no such requirement. It is only a function, so it got compiled successfully. Right? As you can see, it got compiled successfully. So from test.c, it compiled successfully with a warning of unknown function. Okay, it still has not given any error, whereas helper.c, it got compiled successfully. But observe that final executable has not been created till now, because from helper.c you cannot say that it is a final executable, because there is no main function, there is no entry point. Whereas from the test.c, it is still not the final executable file. They are just object file. The helper.o contains the machine instruction equivalent of helper.c, and test.o contains the machine instruction equivalent of test.c. Now, if you try to execute the test.o, obviously they are not executable. They are just object files. Remember, object files are not executable files.
What is an object file that contains?
It contains the machine instruction of the, as you can see here, assembler convert the assembly instruction to machine instruction, right? And the binary file that gets generated is the object file. So it's just the machine instruction equivalent of the test.c. Okay.
Sir, why is that not executed?
Okay. Even after creating the machine instruction, as you can see, in for the test.s, for the corresponding test.o to execute, it is generated only from test.c, right? For this to execute, it has to know where the SQL function is, isn't it? Otherwise, whom it will call? If I write this test.c here, if I open up this test.c here, to invoke this function, it has to know where that function is located, right?
Right, sir.
Whereas test.o has been generated only from test.c. Till now, to generate test.o, nowhere we have used helper.c. So how test.o will know where this SQL function is located? It only blindly has converted into a machine instruction that there is somewhere some SQL function. In fact, let me tell you what happens internally. At the place of invocation, the address of SQR has been written as 0, because the SQR where that SQL function is located is still not known to test.c. So will it execute?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, here helper.c, the SQL function, it is straight away it is not executable because there is no entry point. The helper.o is only the object code output of helper.c, only the blind machine instructions of the helper.c, but they have not been linked. Helper.c, in fact, this helper.c and test.c together can create an executable, but these two individually cannot create an executable, right?
सर टुगेदर में भी कैसे एग्जीक्यूटेबल होंगे जबकि इन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि एक्सक्यूआर फंक्शन कहाँ है?
Yes, that's where linking comes in. So that's why object files that is generated from the assembler is not executable. Okay, assembler generated the executable file, as you can see here. When I executed this gcc -c helper.c -helper.o, it performed the macro processing, compilation, assembly. It created the machine instruction purely from the C file, right? But it itself is not executable. To make it executable, you have to go for this linking stage, where these multiple object files will be linked.
Sir,
Huh.
sir, test.c and helper.c, they both are not executable individually, right, sir?
Helper.c files themselves are never executable. .o files, they are not executable.
Sir, you said individually they are not executable, but after linking they will be executable. Then, sir,
Yes.
my question is, after linking, do they know what is the SQR function? That where is the address of that SQR function?
That is the task of linking. Linking always happens between, that means two machine instruction files are being linked, right? And linking means resolving all the unknown symbols. That means in the linking phase, what happens is that in this phase, in this stage, symbols unknown to one object file is resolved from another one.
But अगर दोनों को ही नहीं पता हो तो?
दोनों को ही अगर नहीं पता होगा, then it will give you an error. Let me show you that. First of all, let me link these two first. Okay, so gcc helper.o test.o. Now see, I am giving the name of both the object files. gcc link them -o test. Okay, so what will happen is this gcc link them. So what will happen after linking is that helper.o has the SQL function. Test.o is using that SQL function. Now that unknown SQL function is test.o, it will come to know that the unknown SQL function is test.o is present in helper.o. Okay, is it clear till now?
नो सर, हेल्पर डॉट ओ में एसक्यूआर फंक्शन कहाँ है?
helper.c में तो SQL फंक्शन था ही, इसका ही तो एक मशीन इंस्ट्रक्शन बना.
ओके सर, ओके.
Okay, and test.c में I am using that SQL function, but individually test.c does not know where SQL function is. Individually helper.c cannot create executable because there is no entry point here. Understand this fact.
Sir, so that test.c needs SQR function address and helper.c needs the starting point, right, sir?
Yes. And so where this SQL function will be available? Observe that till now when I compiled test.c, nowhere I mentioned the presence of helper.c, and obviously test.o does not have any mention of that SQL function. It is only invoking that SQL function, but it has no idea where that SQL function is. It is still unknown to it, right? Because nowhere I have provided, I have informed it that look into helper.c for that SQL function. Okay, so test.o, this object file got generated individually and independently from the test.c function. Similarly, helper.o got generated individually and independently from the helper.c function, right? And neither of this test.o and neither of this helper.o are executable. That's why when I tried to execute them, it gave me a permission denied. That means I simply cannot execute this, right? Now I link these two. I link these two means, see, let me write this here as a comment. After linking with helper file or helper code, it comes to know where SQL function is. Right? Because SQL function is in helper. In helper.c, SQL function is there. Right? So when you link them, it comes to know they get linked successfully and it creates the executable test. Let me show you. Suppose if I create the executable file only from test.o, observe this. Till now, and let me name it test1. In fact, I can name it test because it will not create the executable. It will in fact not create the executable. As you can see, it has thrown an error, undefined reference to SQR, because I am creating the executable only from the object file test.o. So obviously it has no idea where SQL function is. Only when, and similarly, if I try to create the executable from helper.o, let me name it test again because it will not be created again. In that case, it will tell you there is no entry point. Obviously, it will tell you that undefined reference to main, right? But when a file is telling you undefined reference to main, that means it is not being able to find the main function. It is not being able to find the entry point, right? So test.o and helper.o, they individually cannot create any executable. Test.o needs this SQL function and helper.o needs this main function, right? But they together can create the executable. Is it clear? This is linking, where all the unknown symbols are being resolved. Unknown symbols in test.o is being resolved by helper.o, and unknown symbol, which is in the unknown entry point in helper.o, is being provided by test.o.
Okay, sir.
हाँ,
Sir, you are
and you can
using.
execute this. हाँ
Okay,
बोले.
sir, you are using some minus O, minus C. What are these, sir?
Okay, there are various comments. Let me write them at one point, step by step.
And sir, before that, sir, helper.c has the SQR function, right, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, as much as I know, for executing a square function, we need a header file math.h, right, sir?
But here I myself has defined that this SQL function. You do not need that math.h here.
Okay, that return a dot a.
Yes, that is returning the multiplication of a with itself.
Okay, sir. Now I got it. Thank you, sir. Now,
Okay.
sir, that minus O minus C sign.
Okay. See, let me tell you one by one. GCC minus capital E, it creates macro processed output.
What does
Okay.
macro processed output do, sir?
Were you present in yesterday's class?
I was, sir.
Yesterday discussing details about macro processing. Let me recapitulate in short, or you can refer to yesterday's recorded video as well. In macro processing, see every you just, as for example, you just mentioned about one hash include, right?
Sir.
That hash include is a macro. What does it do? Hash, as for example, hash include stdio.h. That means after macro processing, it will bring the content of this complete stdio.h file prior to this main function.
Okay.
Okay. After macro processing, none of these hash include, hash define, or if the some other macros there like hash if def, hash if and def, and so on and on. In fact, there are multitudes of macros. None of them will remain. All of them will be resolved because these macros are not part of C grammar. Okay, these macros are there to help you write better program with minimum amount of code, right? To for the maintainability of the program. So before compilation, following the C grammar, these hash include, hash define, all of them will be resolved. Okay, each and every macro of these will be resolved, and what will be generated is a pure C program without any macro. Okay, let me show an example. Like, as for example, from test.c, if you can remember, we generated this test1.c. Okay, and in the test.c, we had this hash include stdio.h and hash define type 3. In test1.c, you will see none of them are present. In fact, there is no macro present here, as you can see. They are identifiers. Hash with numbering, they are identifiers that the macro processor passes to the compiler. Special identifiers. But otherwise, you will not find any hash include, hash define, hash if and def, hash if def, or anything like that. And in fact, this content, as you can see, this complete content is the content of the stdio.h. So the complete content of the stdio.h with the macros resolved recursively have appeared here. And at this below, as you can see, there is no hash define is present here as well. Rather, hash define type 3, it has been resolved. By wherever I have used type, it has been replaced with 3. Okay, so this complete code does not contain any macro anymore, and it is a pure C file. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, you had used GCC minus E test.c, then that symbol, then test1.c. That means
Yes.
the all the work will be in test1.c, right, sir?
Yes. In fact, if I only write minus e test.c, you'll see this on the screen, on the terminal itself,
Okay,
which
sir.
obviously is not quite readable. So I have redirected it to the test1.c. This redirection symbol. Whatever any particular command is going to write on terminal itself, all of them will be redirected to a particular file. It works with any command. It is not specific to the GCC. This particular redirection symbol greater than this symbol. Okay, it is generalized shell command, relax shell command. Now, after it gets the pure C program, now the compiler comes into action, because after this what generates is a pure C program following the C grammar. Okay, GCC minus S, it creates the compiler output. That means what compilation does? It creates the C program and generates the assembly instruction, right? Creates assembly instruction. Remember, till now it is doing for single C files. From one single C file, macroprocessing will done on that, then assembly instruction will be created out of that. As for example, if I write GCC minus S test.c, during compilation, as I have mentioned, that as a rule of C grammar, before using any function, you have to have it declared or defined somewhere, right? But SQR is not declared or defined anywhere for the test.c alone, from the viewpoint of the test.c alone. So that's why the compilation stage provided this warning, but it did not give us an error, because it is still hoping that maybe in the linking phase it will link to some file where it will get that SQR function. So it has not given any error, it has passed it as a warning. Okay, and it generated this test.s, the small s. Okay, and as you can see, the complete assembly instructions are present here. This is generated from test.c alone. Okay, helper.c does not exist at this moment from the viewpoint of test.c. Is it clear till now?
Yes, sir. Sir, what the work the assembly instruction does? They just show what is the file about.
Assembly instruction. How many classes have you missed? Because after the compilation, it generates the assembly instruction, then assembler comes into, assembly instructions get converted into machine instruction, eventually those machine instructions get executed into the system. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so GCC minus C, it creates the compiled output. That means it creates the machine instruction output. Output after assembly stage. Remember, when you will compile some program, you will not need to run them individually, right? When you run GCC minus S, it includes the macro processing expansion automatically. When you run GCC minus C, you can do it purely on your written C file. That means it will include the macro process expansion, then the compilation, and then the assembly together, and will create the final machine instruction as object file. Okay, so if I write GCC minus C test.c minus O is what you will provide as the name of the file, and I want to put this into test.o. Okay, now see, this warning still appeared because while performing this, as I said, while performing minus C, it automatically included that macro process expansion and then the compilation, that is minus E and minus S together, and this appeared as a result of this compilation minus S part, right? And what it generated is this test.o. You cannot open this. This is not a text file. This is purely binary file written in 0 and 1. Okay.
Sir, why did you use that minus O?
To redirect the output, to redirect the corresponding file name. That is the way you redirect when you create some binary file. If you remove this out,
Don't use minus O then.
let me show this. I am removing all of these three. In that case, it also by default generates test.o. But if you want to provide some other names, so test1.o. Okay, let me remove this test.o now. If suppose you want the output file name to be not to be test.o, rather test1.o, right? In that case, test.o did not get generated, rather the same file has been recreated as a test1.o. That means it is redirecting the binary output to some file. When you do not pass minus o, it by default takes the name of the C file itself. Okay, is it clear to you? But as a good practice, when you create an automated make file for a C project, we always provide this name. Okay.
So
Now see that this test1.o and test.o both are here, and both of them are have the same content, exactly same content. Okay, so GCC minus C creates the object file. Then you provide the GCC, say test.o, helper.o, and so on. It links the object files together to generate the final executable file. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Let me show this. Okay, these are the two source files. When you have two source files, you can also put their name together as well. Obviously, it will do all the steps that I have shown you automatically internally. And this test is now executable. Now you may think that when I'm linking them up together at the source level, why it is still giving me the warning, right? And this is one proof that this is exactly the steps happening that I mentioned here. Because even though I have provided the name of both these files, it is still compiling helper.c individually, it is compiling test.c individually, then linking them to create the test. And while compiling this test.c individually, this warning got generated. Okay, so this step, what I did here is exactly step by step is this one. This warning got generated here for this step. Okay, is it clear to all of you?
So,
Any of you have any further query regarding this discussion? So these are the steps. So macro processing, compilation, assembly and linking. These are the steps to generate the final executable file. And at the end, it is.
sir, at the place of -o, can I use that greater than symbol?
No, because this is not text file. Let me tell you, greater than symbol is used only when it is going to show you some output on the terminal itself. As for example, let me show as an example. You know this ls command, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now ls greater than symbol, say. Now see, there is no output here. Rather, if you read the files here, you'll see this content. Okay. So greater than symbol is just to redirect the output that you are seeing on your terminal as the output of certain command. Okay. Whereas gcc -c test.c, it is not going to produce any output on the terminal. gcc -E produced the macroprocessed output on the terminal. See here. To put it into a file, we use the corresponding redirection symbol. But gcc -c does not put something on terminal. Okay, rather it provides only a warning. Obviously on the terminal it will not show you a binary file. Binary file cannot be shown on a terminal. Is it clear?
Clear.
Okay, so after linking, when the object file is finally the complete executable has been finally created, the final stage is loader. The executable file is loaded into RAM for execution. And how it does, we have discussed it in a bit details priorly. In fact, this is part of OS itself. Okay, the memory management part. Okay. So, any of you have any confusion regarding this discussion? Any query or any question regarding this discussion? So I'll keep my discussion up to this now. We'll see you at 5 to 6, where I'll start our discussion of C programming. In fact, prior to C programming, there was another topic in introduction, that is the study of how to think logic, the algorithm. But for this section, though I have discussed about the algorithm in section E already, but I'll discuss algorithm in this section towards the end of C programming. After you have discussed everything about loops and all the concepts in C and the various features you can use in any particular programming language, after that I'll discuss the topic of algorithm. Okay.
Sir, what will be the topic in 5 to 6 class?
I'll start the C programming and there I'll show you how to print and various features of printf function. That means we'll enter the pure C programming language.
Have we not yet started, sir? I mean, the last class and today's class. What was that about, sir? Then?
That was about how the life cycle of the C program. Okay, but from next class onward, I'll enter the pure, that means the variables, operators, the programming language now. I'll discuss about the complete grammar of the C programming language in this course.
Okay, sir.
Okay. till now in this class, in this last two classes, I have discussed about what happens when you write a C program. Excuse me. What happens when you write a C program and how it gets executed on your machine. Okay, but how will you write a C program eventually? What are the various features in the programming languages? Right? For all the loops, arrays, functions, structure, union, each and everything, all the powers of C programming language. That will be discussed. That discussion will start from the 5 to 6 class, and it will continue onwards towards the last of this course.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other query? Okay. Okay, so I'll keep my discussion up to this now. We'll see you at 5 to 6 class. I'm stopping the sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. And I'm stopping the recording.